year.
Joining us live in the studio is the director of Banki's Private School, Olushola Bankole. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here. And good morning, Nigerians.
All right. So, opinions have been flying, reactions. What do you think limiting, this age limit is a step in the right direction?
Anyway, there are two sides to this whole thing. And I think the government needs to be in the middle. That's it. There are the extremists who feel, no, a child can be anywhere at any age. That is a fallacy from the beginning. And you see, this policy, to be candid, I want to say thank you to the minister, for being bold enough to come up with this. But I have a challenge with where is starting from. I believe it should have started from the beginning. I am one of those, there are some of us that have been campaigning. In fact, I came with some of the flyers since 2018. And there are organizations, around who have also been, clamoring for bringing back primary 6. In fact, primary 5 is even flying away. There are schools that are terminating primary school in primary 4. And some are agitating, age does not contribute to maturity. It does. There are things that at some age you're allowed to do, even if you know it's available. It's just like saying a 15-year-old can go and begin to sleep around or, have sex all over the place. There are things that are age appropriate. And that is the same for education. There are, researches. Some people have been asking, okay, what data is available? And then they are flying stories of a 17-year-old who is a doctorate degree holder in US, in UK, all over the place. Nigeria will not allow them to be. That is not true. I have taught a prodigy before, who eventually, she's actually in Harvard now. But the point is, you don't turn, because of the mindset of, we're more consumed with the children are passing exams and we feel they are smart because of that. That does not, even when we are measuring cognitive development or cognitive ability of children, you need to look at age appropriateness. That is what is used to even develop the curriculum. What should a child who is this age be doing? And we should look at it from the understanding that age could vary within 1 year. Schools resume in September. And so there are children who were born in January, February, March, April, like that. Some may be a little bit less. Some will be a little older by September as school is going to resume. So what is critical is that we should start from the beginning. The age children resume from primary 1. That is actually my own suggestion, that the minister should maybe call, stakeholders meeting. There are organizations that have been looking at this, fighting this. Bring that back primary 6. A year ahead books. There are schools that, children that are in primary 1 are using book 2. I tell them, this is nonsense. It's just a fluke. It doesn't make the children smarter and all of that. So we should also consider so many other things beyond academic success. How about emotional intelligence? How about, social, emotional learning? Being able to relate with others. There are so many researches and so many data there is data that has shown that age matters in the ability to learn and utilize your learning, which is, how to deploy the skills.
I think first of all, we need to first put it out there. It's not a new law. This law was formed in 1982, the education policy of 1982. And that's like 42 years now, if I'm correct, or so. So it's not a new law. What the minister only did was just to bring back what is expected. That is the 6336. Am I correct, ma'am?
6334.
6334, rather. So in looking at that, you look at the university system usually coming after they write the joint admission matriculation exam. So is it now right for someone who has scored higher and is capable of getting admission to just sit down and wait and write the exam next year when the person is 18 years of age? Is it now right?
Okay, which is why I said, you know, this is an hydra-headed issue. Many are saying, I'll go back to the issue of what is learning itself. A lot of parents and educators feel that when a child has passed an exam, that child is intelligent. But, you know, even for Jean Piaget, who is, you know, a philosopher who developed the cognitive development stages. There are 4 stages. There are things to learn between 0 to 1. And you will see, those of us that are parents, you see that it shows even in the way the children respond to stimuli, they respond to situations around them. And so what a child should be learning at age 5, if you are giving the child, what a child should be learning at age 11, if you are giving the child to learn at age 5, the child may actually learn. It's just like you climbing stairs. I use that analogy a lot. You are climbing stairs. It's possible there are people that will do 3 steps at a time. You will get up there. And there is someone who is going 1 step at a time. You know, that person is going to get there in his or her stride. The one who is skipping, what do you think will happen? He's going to get there panting. But the other one is taking his time. But we all will get there. So the children who we feel we missed it, it will be a problem. It will create many more problems, maybe social problems, which is why we are suggesting, I am suggesting, and a number of us are putting us together to suggest that as we resume this September, the law, which has been there, but many of us had ignored, and it has created a lot of problems in the education system. We are seeing graduates who cannot defend what they went to school to do. Exactly. Even some with first class. And we are seeing that the society globally now is not so consumed with certification, but certification. You should know what you have gone to learn. And if it's a student...
What do you mean by certificate?
You have the skill.
Yeah. You
have the cognate experience and ability to defend that. I went through this. Yeah. I can practically demonstrate it.
Okay.
But you see, what we emphasize a lot in our environment here is the child can cram and pour. And we get certificates. But certificate is more important than certificate. So for those children, that's why we are suggesting that the government should actually begin. The point is we need to do this. But we can start with the primary school, primary 1. No child that is less than 5.5 should enter primary 1 as we resume this September. For JSS 1, no child that is less than 11 by September, we are entering September tomorrow, should enter JS 1. I'm sure by the time we insist and the regulatory bodies monitor to ensure that we will correct it over time. And the challenges that this, insisting from the exit time will bring will not be there.
All right. So, so you said this problem is hydra-headed.
It is.
And you are coming from the private sector. So I would also want to, get your thought on some people being of the opinion that also the influx of private school scattered the system that we had. Because, we didn't have many people wanting to take common entrance from year 5 or trying even to take WAEC at SS2 because they have covered the SS3 curriculum. So do you think also that the private schools contributed to how the system have gotten to at this point?
I'm always worried when we try to blame private schools. I have evidence clearly in FCT here. When I was chairman of NAPS FCT 2018 to 2022, we have some of the children, in fact, some of our members complain of some of their students, pupils in primary 4, resuming primary 6 in a public school. I have the evidences. Because we took it up with the Education Secretariat through the DQA. And, you know, the director then actually took it upon himself. He went to make inquiries and he actually discovered that it was so. Even in the public secondary school, for instance, the one at that time, we also noticed that there are children who were like 9 in JSS1, public secondary school. So see, it is not about, maybe, I don't want to say private schools did not. In fact, we all contributed. And so we should all put hands together to solve this problem. But that blame that it's only private schools, I don't agree. It is, in fact, fallacious.
I think the mothers are always happy when...
Yes, but also in 30 seconds, nature abhors vacuum. And as it doesn't look likely that, you know, at least for now, the federal government will be allowing people less than 18 to take WAEC, what do you think parents should start doing while we sort out this issue of people who have 2 years to go or 1 year to go before the age for WAEC?
Most especially mothers.
Anyway, I want to believe that the federal government is going to look into that, because, you know, part of some of the statements the minister made is that, because, you know, if a student is even going to be, the policy basically from, you know, what some of us have looked at, expects that they should be 18 by the time they are getting to university. But you see, when they are registering for WAEC and NECO and UTME and all that, they will still be like 17. So, and I know in one of the statements, you know, in the news that the minister made, he said, in fact, by the time they are rounding off SS3, they'll be about 17 and a half anyway. If we do what is right, we'll realize that it won't be a problem. So my advice for parents and even educators is that let us begin, make up our mind. This September 2024-2025 session, let's do the right thing. Admit the correct age in each class and don't skip classes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
really
much
appreciate it. We'll take a break. When we'll come back, we'll go to the last leg of the show. Don't go and over right back.